Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Alsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And that was the finale to the Simon home movies Reel 16. A lot of vacationing in there, and that last little bit was color. It was beautiful. Some early hula footage, and I think that predates World War II, but I'm not 100% sure. But pretty great stuff. To see how people vacation at different times in our history in the 20th century is interesting. And yeah. So today is D-Day, and I'm going to show you a film about D-Day. Enjoy. Basically, in the description of the streaming show, I said, it's D-Day, let's go to the beach and fight Nazis. I'm being very glib about that, of course. There was a lot of sacrifice, a lot of lives lost. But, yeah, go to the beach, fight Nazis. I think that's a way to live our lives. All right, here's the film.
London, spring 1944. 2 million soldiers of the Allied nations wait on the eve of a great battle. Wait for the command of one man who is to make a crucial decision which will alter the course of world history. The man is General Dwight D. Eisenhower. The decision, D-Day. At Tehran in November 1943, the most important political meeting since the Versailles Treaty brings together Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill for the first time since the start of World War II. Their prime objective is to set a date for the invasion of Nazi-held Western Europe. There is, however, a clash of opinions on strategy. Stalin demands an invasion through France to relieve pressure on the Russian front. Churchill argues instead for strengthening and extending the present campaign in the Mediterranean. Roosevelt settles the debate by voting for the invasion through France. The first week of May 1944 is set as the target date. A week later in Tunis, North Africa, Roosevelt designates General Dwight Eisenhower Supreme Commander of the new Allied Expeditionary Force. Eisenhower's orders are simple and direct. You will enter the continent of Europe and undertake operations aimed at the heart of Germany and the destruction of her armed forces. That same month in Berlin, Adolf Hitler summons Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the legendary Desert Fox, to prepare German defenses against the expected Allied invasion. Rommel will be the field commander, but on the day of the invasion, Hitler intends to direct the strategy against the Allies himself. Rommel's first mission for Hitler is to inspect the Atlantic Wall, the highly publicized line of defense fortifications along the coast of Western Europe. He is appalled by what he sees. The defenses are shockingly inadequate and in many places non-existent. He calls the wall a gigantic fake, a paper hoop for the Allies to jump through. Rommel warns that if the Allies are not stopped at the water's edge during the first 24 hours of battle, the war will be lost. Rommel convinces Hitler the beaches will be the main line of resistance and that the Atlantic Wall must be reinforced in a furious race against time. The invasion might come at any point on the 3,000 miles of coastline from Norway to Spain. But Hitler knows that the most likely invasion points are in France. One in Normandy, close to Cherbourg and Le Havre, the other at Calais, only 20 miles from England. Engineering battalions, combat troops, slave laborers. 500,000 men are pressed into service to build an impregnable Atlantic wall that will hurl the enemy back into the sea. All through the spring of 1944, at Supreme Headquarters in London, plans proceed for Operation Overlord, the secret code name for the invasion of France. Assisting Eisenhower are his 3 top invasion commanders. British Chief Air Marshal Trafford Leigh-Mallory, who will command the Air Forces, Admiral Bertram Ramsay of the Royal Navy, who will be the naval chief, and British General Bernard Montgomery, the famous Monty who defeated Rommel in North Africa, will command the ground forces. A new date is set. The invasion will take place in the first week of June. Southern England now becomes a vast arsenal, the greatest in military history. The massive concentration of men and machines is the subject of a joke in every British pub. England, they say, would sink into the sea if it weren't for the barrage balloons holding her up. On April 30th, 1944, all of southern England is suddenly sealed off from the rest of the world. The war's most important secret, the time and place of D-Day, must be kept from the enemy. One place in England where security measures are intentionally relaxed is at General George Patton's headquarters, 20 miles across the Channel from Calais. Here at Dover, the flamboyant Patton commands a mythical army comprised of dummy tanks, dummy trucks, and even a mock invasion fleet. Patton, the general most feared by the Germans, stages noisy, highly conspicuous maneuvers in order to make the Germans believe that the invasion will come at Calais. Although Hitler's intuition tells him that the Allied attack may come in Normandy, 100 miles from England, the reports on Patton change his mind. The Allied deception has worked. He is now convinced that Calais, only 20 miles from England, is the invasion target. Hitler immediately orders panzer units and infantry divisions brought up to strengthen the Calais district. By June, there will be more than 150,000 men ready in Calais to repel the great Allied invasion. Rommel's first line of defense is 100,000 mines planted in the Channel, backed up by 4 million more buried along the beaches. Rommel has utilized every diabolical mechanical device imaginable to block the invasion. And if the Allies get past the beaches, behind the guns and behind the obstacles are the battle-hardened soldiers and panzer units of the mighty German Wehrmacht, ready to drive them back into the sea. Fields are flooded beyond the beach to drown paratroopers in the event of airborne landings. Hitler, however, puts his ultimate faith in his newly developed secret vengeance weapons, the V-1 robot bomb and the V-2 supersonic rocket. He hopes he can perfect and launch enough of these in time. If so, he is confident he can destroy any Allied invasion force. Early in May, Eisenhower and his commanders finalized the major invasion plans. Provided the weather is right, June 5th, 6th, or 7th will be D-Day. Only on those days in June will conditions be ideal for invasion. A full moon to light the way for the airborne troops, and a low morning tide for the landing operations. Primary objective of the invasion is to secure a beachhead in Normandy, then capture the port of Cherbourg. In the first hours of D-Day, paratroopers will drop behind coastal defenses to isolate the beaches. Meanwhile, 5,000 ships carrying the main assault forces will rendezvous in mid-channel to await H-hour. At 6:30 a.m., small landing craft will take the troops to the 5 invasion beaches. The Americans will land at Utah and Omaha. The British and Canadians at Gold, Juno, and Sword. Phase 1 begins. The Air Force bombs enemy roads, railways, and airfields. By D-Day, only about 200 German planes are left in the West. All transportation is virtually at a standstill, and the Luftwaffe is incapable of giving any air support. It is June 3rd. Now the spring is coiled. The weather is good. The men are ready. D-Day will be June 5th. Eisenhower gives the command to go. For the men, the waiting is over. The march to the sea begins. First ships are on their way to their rendezvous in the Channel when they're hit by unexpected storms. Weather, the one element beyond the control of the Allied High Command, threatens the success of the invasion. Tiny landing craft would be swamped by the heavy seas. Ike refuses to risk disaster and postpones D-Day for at least 24 hours. The advance convoys of the fleet, already en route to invasion, are ordered back. German weather stations track the storm, and their forecasters make the same prediction as the Allied meteorologists. The worst storm in 20 years is approaching the English Channel, and the weather will continue bad for at least a week. Lulled into a sense of security, the German Navy cancels mine-laying operations and its nightly E-boat patrols. All planes are grounded. Rommel estimates that an Allied invasion is not possible during the next 2 weeks. Exhausted from overwork, he decides to go home to Germany for a few days' rest. Besides, Tuesday, June 6th, will be his wife's birthday. In England, at the embarkation ports, the Allied forces are confined to their ships. As the men wait, Eisenhower faces another tortured decision. If the bad weather continues, the invasion will have to be put off until June 19th, when the tides will be right again. And if he does postpone, how can he keep the invasion secrets locked up among 250,000 men? How will the long delay affect their morale? The storm at sea now moves inland, striking southern England with its full fury. The situation looks more hopeless than ever. The Allied weather stations report from far out in the North Atlantic, from Greenland, from places where German meteorologists cannot get information. They predict the possibility that the storm front may lift for a 24-hour period on Tuesday, June 6th, and the news is relayed to Eisenhower's headquarters. Now, at an old English mansion near the invasion harbor of Portsmouth, a dramatic conference takes place. Eisenhower and his commanders meet to consider whether they should launch the invasion on Tuesday. The opinions are divided, some doubtful, some yes. But the final word, the fateful decision, must come from Eisenhower. There is a moment of silence, then he says, "Okay, let's go. D-Day will be Tuesday, June 6th. From Plymouth and Dartmouth, from Spithead and Falmouth, from Brixham and Yarmouth, from Torbay and Portsmouth, they come. Battleships, minesweepers, destroyers, rocket barges, tugboats, and landing craft. 5,000 vessels in all. The greatest invasion armada in the history of man. Meanwhile, at Hitler's luxurious mountain retreat at Berchtesgaden, the Fuhrer enjoys a peaceful day with his mistress, Eva Braun. He will hold 2 military conferences with his staff and spend the late hours of the evening listening to Wagner. Along the Atlantic Wall, there's nothing unusual to report. All is quiet on the Western Front. The airborne phase of Operation Overlord begins. From a dozen British airfields on the night of June 5th, 1,000 planes will take off for France before midnight. They will carry 18,000 paratroopers. 5 hours before the seaborne invasions, this advance army of paratroopers will drop behind the Atlantic Wall to soften the enemy defenses and block off reinforcements. Ike watches the last of the airborne pass over. The long, weary months of planning and preparation are over. It is reported that there are tears in his eyes. It is now 12:01 a.m., June 6th, D-Day. In the English Channel, the fleet slowly approaches France. The Navy has already cleared paths through Rommel's minefields. For the men aboard the transports and the men flying overhead, this day will be one they will always remember. But for some, it will be their last day on Earth. The first invaders to touch French soil are the Pathfinders. Their mission is to light the drop zones for the airborne troops to follow. An hour later, the main force of the paratroopers arrives over France. The Germans sound the alarm. Clouds and heavy anti-aircraft fire throw the planes off course, and paratroopers are dropped miles from scheduled zones. Some land in the ocean, in the rivers, or in the fields Rommel has flooded, and drown under the weight of 70 pounds of equipment. The widely separated men meet only light resistance from the confused German troops. Everything is quiet on the beaches of Normandy. In spite of paratroop landings behind the beaches, German headquarters regard the action as merely diversionary. They still believe the invasion will come at Calais. 12 miles out, the Allied fleet transfers the men to small landing craft. It is no longer the war of generals and admirals. It is now the war of the men. beach commanders call for reinforcements. 2 crack armored units under Hitler's control are only 100 miles away. But General Jodl, Hitler's chief of operations, refuses to disturb the Fuhrer. The tank divisions, he says, are being saved for the main landings at Calais. Meanwhile, he suggests they clean up the minor operation at Normandy with the forces at hand. It's now 10 minutes to 6. As the first waves of men head for the shore, the Navy's giant guns begin to open fire on Rommel's coastal batteries and beach emplacements. The ships knock out 50% of the German defenses. At the same time, Air Force bombers sweep across the channel to aid the Navy in destroying the German beach fortifications. But the sky is overcast. In order to avoid the risk of hitting the approaching landing craft, the bombardiers are ordered to delay their releases for several seconds. Because of this, the bombs fall from 300 yards to 3 miles back from the coast. And so the first wave of men rush toward Omaha Beach, unaware that Rommel's Atlantic Wall still bristles with deadly firepower. These veterans of other successful landings feel that luck is on their side. They believe the Air Force and the Navy have spread a carpet for them to walk in on. They'll be across this beach and on their way inland by lunch. Omaha Beach, D-Day. Omaha Beach is a disaster. In the confused nightmare of sudden death, the few survivors are pinned up against the cliffs by a shower of enemy crossfire. Bewildered by landings on the wrong beaches and shocked by the suffering and death around them, the men on bloody Omaha desperately begin to regroup. Frantic calls for fire support are sent to destroyers lying offshore. Finally, the beach is secured, and succeeding waves of men pour onto Omaha. Commanders who were ready to write off Omaha as a total failure now say the victory is a miracle. At the British beaches of Gold and Juneau, the first waves meet heavy resistance, but within hours, the beaches are secured. At Utah Beach, at Sword Beach, the Allies break through light opposition, and by noon, the entire invasion force is moving forward, inland. They advance to link up with the airborne forces still fighting in the interior. The Germans desperately try to halt further advances, hoping to prevent consolidation of the various Allied assault forces. For the Germans, the battle is not yet lost. The German General Staff now recognizes the extreme danger of the situation. The two crack panzer divisions assigned to Calais by Hitler must be rushed to Normandy immediately. A desperate call is put into the Fuhrer. Although far removed from the battle, Hitler will not allow his generals to dictate strategy to him. He orders his aides to inform Rundstedt that the situation at Normandy does not require the transfer of the two panzer divisions. He is saving them, along with his entire 15th Army, for Calais, where he feels the real invasion is sure to come. He then retires to take a nap. Rommel, the one man who might persuade him to change his mind, is in a car racing back to the front. And so while Hitler sleeps at Berchtesgaden, his fatal blunder prevents an immediate major counterattack. It allows the Allies to land more men and supplies on the hard-won shores of Normandy. Rommel had warned that if the Allies were not stopped at the water's edge during the first 24 hours of battle, the war would be lost. Before this day is over, the Allies will plunge 10 miles inland. They will capture and hold a score of villages and small towns in Normandy. For the oppressed people of Europe, D-Day, the 6th of June, marks the beginning of their liberation.
Epic. And so that was part of a TV series that David Wolper Productions did, and they did quite a few TV series. David Wolper also did Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and some other great feature films. But they did a lot of these kind of historical TV drama. Well, they're not dramas; they're documentaries. But lots of sound effects, lots of all that, almost all that footage I believe was real. Some of it was probably shown out of context, but yeah, there was a lot of documentation going on by the Army Signal Corps and by others. All right, so behind me, where is it? Behind me is a film scanner, and we're going to totally shift gears here. Like, go from the 40s to the mid to late 70s. This is not my problem. Not my problem. Enjoy.
Don't, Dave. Come on, please don't.
Come on, Sue. You know we both like it.
I just don't want to anymore. Look, I really don't feel ready for it. And besides, my period's late. Come on, don't. Really.
Do we have to go through this every time?
David, I love you. I really
Then
do.
show me how you love me.
David, I don't know.
I really love you, Sue. I really do.
Dave!
Don't forget your lunch.
Oh, thanks. I'll see you later.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna have it back by 10 o'clock last night, Dave.
Yeah, I only had this date last night, and it got kind of
And you
late.
didn't want to wake me up, right?
How'd you know?
Well, you wouldn't have woken me, because Marge and I are up half the night with the baby anyhow.
Is he sick?
Teething.
Oh.
When you say you're gonna be someplace at a certain time, then do it. Otherwise, how am I gonna trust you with anything?
Just don't lecture me, okay, Al?
Anyhow, I'm gonna be late for work as it is. And don't ask for the van again.
Yeah, but... Hey, can you give me a ride? Baseball field? Come on, pitch it again.
Get it over the plate. Yeah, get catcher out here. Look lively out there. Look lively. All right. Okay, bud, let's go. Look lively here. Lay it in. All right, nice hit. All right. Hey, Dave. Yeah, how come you're late, man?
I had to walk. My brother couldn't give me a ride.
Hi, Dave. You gonna take a few swings or what?
Sure.
Dave's gonna bat for a while.
All right, lay one.
Hey, Dave. Take your girl out last night, huh?
Yeah.
Get it on with her, huh? Hey, real lover boy.
Hey, well, you guys cut the talk. I want to have a turn.
And you will, buddy. Hey, I bet old CW here can fix you up with that cute redhead in English.
Oh, come off it, Jim. Besides, well, aren't you worried that, well, you know, your girlfriend might get pregnant?
Oh, he gets pregnant that easy.
You don't?
Just plowing time, that's all. You gotta get yourself some experience, boy.
Look, if you're gonna make it with the gal, like, you better be cool about it, okay? Like, get yourself some rubbers or something.
Hey! What are you guys talking about? Let's go!
Yeah, come on, let's play ball.
Okay. Dave's up, let's go, Dave. Go. Let's go out there.
All right, come on, outside the park, man.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah?
I never used rubbers before.
Why not?
I heard it spoils the feeling, you know? Sue's probably got herself fixed up some way or another anyhow.
I don't know, man.
Besides, if she does get herself pregnant, it's not my problem. Strike one!
Hello? Oh, yeah. Okay. Just a minute. Dave, it's Marge. She said you promised to sit for them tonight.
Oh, yeah, tell him I'll be there.
Yeah. He'll be there. Okay, bye. Hello? He's here. Just a minute. It's for you again. Can't you ever answer the phone?
Hello?
Hi, Davy. I'm really worried about missing my period. I think I might be pregnant.
Oh, brother. That's impossible, Sue.
Why is it impossible? It's not impossible. We've been together a lot. Well, you know.
What do you expect me to do?
I don't know.
I thought you could take care of that kind of stuff.
Hey, it's not my fault. Why are you blaming me? I told you I wasn't ready for it.
Come on, Sue. You know you were into it as much as I was.
Wait a minute,
You didn't have to go along with it. You could have said no anytime you wanted to.
Okay, calm down.
Anyway, I gotta get over to my brother's house. I really gotta go.
I'm going to the clinic tomorrow for a test or something. Let's just wait until then. Till I know about it. Will you come with me?
Where?
To the clinic.
I got baseball practice. I gotta go. Bye.
Good movie. We should go out more often, yeah?
What's wrong?
I think he's wet.
Well, why didn't you change him? Don't you know how to change him? Oh, he's not wet. It must be his teeth. Oh, baby.
I gotta go. I got baseball practice in the morning.
Dave, I didn't want to say anything before because Marge might get ticked off. But I noticed tonight that the side door of the van was pushed in. I thought maybe you...
So what makes you think I did it?
I didn't say you did, but you were the last one to drive it.
You were the last one to drive it. Hey, you drove it to work this morning, didn't you? Maybe someone bashed it in while you were working. Maybe someone hit it while you and Marge were at the show. Hey, maybe
Wait a
someone
minute, Dave. Hold off. I got a family to feed, and I haven't got the money to get it fixed right now. But if you did have an accident, I want to know about it. You know, growing up means taking responsibility for your mistakes.
I got too much to think about, Al.
What's going on with you anyway?
Nothing.
It's about a $400 repair bill, you know.
I'm here for my 3 o'clock appointment.
Judy, right?
Yes.
We'll be right with you.
Okay. Is that your son?
Yes.
He's sweet. What's his name?
Thomas.
Do you know how much it costs here?
Oh, it's according to what you can afford.
Susan, the doctor will see you now.
Okay.
How are you?
Okay.
Hi, Susan. I'm Dr. Magruder, and I'll be doing the examination. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. Well, you seem a little nervous, but just try to relax because anything you say is going to be just between the two of us, okay? Okay. Now, did you bring the urine sample?
The nurse took it.
Okay, good. Well, just exactly what is it that makes you think you're pregnant, Susan? Have you missed a menstrual period?
Yeah, and I'm usually fairly regular.
Well, that might be an indicator, but then again, it might not be. The test will tell us. Do you have a steady boyfriend, Susan?
Dave.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you two been going together?
About 6 months.
Have you been using any form of birth control?
Well, no, but... Well, we haven't been together that much, so... I really don't see how I could be pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Well, one time can do it, Susan. Well, the clinic is holding a series of talks on birth control and family planning every Monday afternoon. We show films and talk about things that are on our minds. We have a group of about 15 or 20 guys and girls. And I'm wondering if maybe you and Dave could come next week.
Oh. Well, maybe. He always has baseball practice or something, but... We'll see about it.
Okay, good. Well, let me get the nurse and we'll continue with the examination, okay? Okay.
Work up your arm. Hey, all right.
All right.
Hey, Dave, you really think you might have got old Susie pregnant, huh?
I don't know. She's got to have some kind of test or something.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do if she is? Hey, guys! Dave here's gonna be a daddy.
What? Cut it out, man. She's not even sure yet.
Yeah. Daddy. Hey. What are you gonna do if she is? You just have to quit school. Then she'll want him to get a job, keep buying stuff for the kid. Hey, he'll never have enough of that car he's been wanting.
Hey, that's cool. He can just keep borrowing that slick van from his brother.
All right.
Hey, it seems like it's her fault anyhow. I mean, she just wasn't careful.
I don't know. That's not the way I see it.
What are you talking about, Jim?
I don't know. It's like your brother's van. if you borrow it and something happens, then, well, isn't it up to you to get it fixed?
Hey, you gonna marry her? Huh, Dave?
Hey, what are you guys talking about? Who marry who?
Well, Dave's girl might be pregnant.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, she's not sure.
Well, what are you gonna do if she is?
Yeah, Dave.
I don't know, Bob.
Hey, my brother got a girl pregnant a couple years ago, and they got married.
Really?
At least they got him away from my old man.
Bob, your old man ain't nothing. You ever live with a messy little kid? They scream all the time. You gotta change their diapers. You never catch me doing that.
No way. No way.
Hey, man, just let her go. Get far, far away.
Really?
Hey, you could make her get an abortion.
Oh, hey, you guys know Eddie Mendoza, don't you?
Yeah, what about him?
Well, he's adopted.
Hey,
So
sure.
what?
I don't know. Might be a better thing than just leaving her. Getting married, I mean.
What you talking about?
My old man cut out when I was about, what, 3 years old? I don't know if I'd do that to some kid of mine.
Hey, Dave, you've been going with Susie for what, 3 months?
About 6.
Well, how do you know she's not gonna get fat like her mama after get married?
Wait a minute. You guys got me married off already. I'm not even sure if Sue's pregnant yet. Besides, I got too many other things to think about right now. I got school. I'm saving for college. I'm just not ready to have a kid yet.
Well, you could have thought about that before you started fooling around, man.
Yeah. Well, what do you do? I mean, how do you keep a girl from getting pregnant?
You got somebody in particular in mind, buddy?
Hey, look, the first thing you have to do is learn what sex is all about anyhow.
Everybody knows that.
He don't.
Come on.
Besides, it's up to the girl to take care of that. Right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Sure, I guess so. I mean,
Some of them don't know any more about it than you guys. Like, there's all types of things for birth control. There's rubbers, diaphragms, pills, foam.
Foam?
Yeah, foam.
how come you know so much about it, Jim?
I had this biology teacher last term. He was cool. Showed us some films, told us all about it. Hey, you know.
Hey, you guys.
Diaphragms, rubbers, that's all a big hassle. I say just get it on and don't worry about it.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave, I need to talk to you.
Ooh, we lady have something to talk about. Let's go.
Let's play ball.
Buddy,
Oh, yeah, right. Going.
I went to the clinic. They said it would be a day or so before they knew anything. Well, the doctor there wants us to come there, together.
For what?
Davy, what are we gonna do?
What do you mean, do? You're not pregnant.
I mean, if I am. Look, if I am, we're gonna have to talk about it. Look, they have this class or something on Monday afternoons where we can go and talk about it. It's on birth control.
I got too much schoolwork.
You always have too much of something, schoolwork or baseball. Look, I guess what I mean is that if we're going to keep seeing each other, we're going to have to talk about things that come up. I really feel that. Well, don't you think so?
Hey, Dave, batter up, huh? Come on now.
Come on, let's go, Dave.
All right.
Let's go.
You guys, look live out there. Dave's batting now. Live. Right, look alive out there. Come on, Dave. Say, Dave, boy, let's go.
Right there.
Let's go, Dave.
Right. Hey, buddy. You bat for a while.
I got the bat.
Hey, Dave, where you going?
I gotta go talk to Sue some more.
Want to go get a coat later on?
Maybe. I'll be at my brother's house. Call me there.
All right. Come on, bed up, buddy. All right. Get up there, buddy.
Love it. They keep talking about films. I love it. Part of sex ed education. And then they showed some films. And then we showed some films. So great. Alright. There we go. We're going to shift gears again. Although we're going to be kind of in the same decade, I think. This is electrical lockout procedures. Enjoy.
Check this box.
Must be a fuse gone on it.
Yeah, I imagine. Get a voltmeter. Well, we'll have to hot that. That was all right. That was all right. Well, there it is.
Let's go lock out the main power.
Boy, shut the whole line down. I can pop that fuse out there in a minute.
Electrical and mechanical equipment has brought many benefits to the mining industry, but it has also brought hazards. Maintenance men and electricians often perform high-risk assignments that other workers do not have to do. Sometimes they must expose themselves to live electrical circuits, moving machinery, or other hazardous situations that require extra precautionary or safety measures on their part.
Terry, that latch bar is worn, and you're going to have to weld on it. So you better move the bucket away from the bank before you start. Okay, Jim, I'll get started.
The accidental starting of equipment by energizing an electrical power circuit is one of the hazardous situations that has caused many fatal and non-fatal injuries in the mining industry.
Okay.
The accident just shown would not have happened if the repairman had locked out the main circuit breaker after cutting the power off. As an extra safety precaution, the switch should have been tagged with a danger sign to inform others that the circuit is being repaired and that they must keep hands off until both the sign and lock are removed. Another incident that points out the importance of proper lockout procedures occurred recently at a rod mill. A worker shut the unit down so that he could carry out some routine cleaning or maintenance work inside the mill. One of his duties was to scale down the walls inside the rotating cylinder, a job he had performed many times before. A short time later, the plant operator entered and, seeing the mill not running, started it back up again. Proper lockout procedures would have prevented this fatal accident. After the main power disconnect had been thrown, the main fuses should have been removed from the circuit. An insulated fuse puller is used for this task. Once the power has been cut off, the circuit must be securely locked out to eliminate any possibility of its being accidentally re-energized. The lock should then be tagged by the person who locked it out and signed. The date and other pertinent information may also be written on the tag. Because of potential hazards in repairing electric-powered equipment, mining companies should have a strict policy requiring equipment to be completely de-energized before repair work is begun. Unexpected starting of equipment can cause accidents. Many plants now have starter switches that automatically sound a warning signal before the equipment starts to operate. This time delay safety interlock gives people time to get clear of moving machinery. De-energizing motors, drive units, and other electrical circuits to make them safe for repair work usually means more than throwing just one switch. In order to be completely safe, all power sources to the equipment being worked on must be de-energized. Pushing the stop button on a machine will normally bring it to a halt, but parts of the circuit, particularly integral switching components, motor control elements, electrical interlocks, and wiring, may still be energized. This electrician followed the safe practice of testing the equipment needing repair with a voltmeter to see if any part of the electrical circuit was still energized. After finding that the magnetic starter was still energized, even though the start-stop switch had cut off the current to the motor, he shut off the power at the main circuit breaker and then locked it out and tagged it. The danger or warning tag not only lets everyone know that the circuit is being worked on, but when it is signed or initialed, it identifies the person doing the repairs. After the main circuit breaker was switched off and locked out, the electrician again tested the motor circuit. He found no voltage or current present in the circuit, and now knew that it would be safe to continue work on the equipment. In large mining operations, a regular continuing maintenance and repair program is vital. This often requires the employment of several maintenance personnel. Maintenance personnel should not only possess the necessary job skills, but should also be well trained in job safety. Proper safety training is important when maintenance personnel must work around electrical circuits or electrically powered machinery and equipment. It is especially important that they know and practice proper electrical lockout procedures. Quite often in today's complex mining and milling operations, more than one maintenance or repair job may have to be done in the same section or on the same equipment and electrical circuit at the same time. For this reason, scissors clip extensions, allowing more than one lock at a time to be put on a box, are used. Maintenance workers should know and follow the specific lockout procedures and safety precautions that must be taken in various situations that may arise. For example, if you must work on equipment, even where someone else has already locked out the control before you, you must still place your own padlock on it. This is the only positive way to make sure the equipment stays de-energized and that you will be fully protected. Another safe lockout procedure to follow is never permit anyone else to remove your lock for you. There are times when the work you are doing cannot be completed on your shift. In this case, do not leave your lock on the switch and pass your key on to the man who will relieve you. Instead, at the end of the shift, notify your foreman or other authorized person, who will then make certain that the switch remains locked out until the work is finished and the equipment safe to operate.
You gonna finish the job before the end of the shift, John?
No, not this shift.
Well, I better put the company lock on. You can take yours off.
After the foreman has attached his lock, you may remove yours. Now it is the next workman's responsibility to attach his own lock before starting to work.
Well, this is a typical setup of the mill. we'd like to go through on just a briefing.
Besides stressing general health and safety practices, your company's safety program should also include thorough training in proper lockout procedures for all employees who work with the mine's electrical installations or operate electrical equipment.
So we push the stop button here.
The safety program should be based on the mine's electrical system and applied specifically to mining operations. Electrical lockout procedures are an important part of a mine's maintenance program, a program requiring complete cooperation of miners and management. Supervisors must see that you have the necessary keys, locks, and tags, and you must see that they are used whenever necessary. Remember, unnecessary hazards created by unexpected movements of electrical equipment and energizing of electrical circuits can be prevented. It's up to you to learn and to practice proper electrical lockout procedures.
I can check that gear in a minute, so don't touch anything, okay? Hey! Get down from there! Now! Hey! Turn it over!
What if it bumped that control by accident? You'd be mincemeat by now. What have I told you? You don't work on equipment when the engine's running.
Well, I told him not to touch anything. All right, I guess I wasn't thinking.
You weren't thinking? You mean you'll work on engines and machinery and not think of your own personal safety? Here. Shake hands with danger.
Shake hands with danger. Meet a man you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety. Now they call me Three-Fingered Joe. I was young and feisty. Never did things by the book. Just let me get my toolbox and I'll take myself a look. I climbed up on a dozier with my mechanic's pride. Said, you can keep it running, friend, while I poke around inside. Shake hands with danger, meet a guy you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety, now they call me Three-Fingered Joe. Although I learned a lesson, I forgot it soon enough. The nicks and burns and scratches showed the young ones I was tough. Till another morning I was grinding on some steel. My other hand got careless and fed my skin into the wheel. Shake hands with danger, step right up and say hello. Grinding wheels and metal are what made me Three-Fingered Joe. I've seen mechanics burning and I've seen them take a fall just to save themselves a minute. I've seen them lose it all. I've watched them courting trouble, seen them take a chance and lose. They get careless for a moment and spend a lifetime with the blues. Shake hands with danger. hands with danger and some friends I used to know. Compared to them, I'm lucky to be just Three-Finger Joe.
Oh boy. Wow. Alright, so there's some confusion. There's people joining us that are like, what is this? This thing talking about Nazis and the beach, and then this D-Day footage, and then this thing about teenage pregnancy, and then electrical lockout, and then this whacked out kind of disco-y song with someone with a British accent. Yeah, this is AV Geeks. We watch old 16mm films, and that last thing we saw was my wife paid this local singer-songwriter to do a re-envisioning of the Shake Hands with Danger song, which is from the film, which is made to talk about safety for people who work on Caterpillar heavy equipment. And yeah, he knocked it out of the park. It was real good. Real good. And so occasionally, I used to show it like once a week, but you know, I've scaled it back a little bit. But come on, if we see an industrial safety film, we gotta watch it. It's just what it's all about. But thank you for tuning in today. Very much appreciate your eyeballs and your comments. You know, even though it was Memorial Day not too long ago, let's reflect on the big sacrifice that was made for D-Day. Lots of people died on both sides, and yeah, you know, there's a lot of resources spent, a lot of people involved in that, and that was a big deal back in the day, and don't forget that how important that deal was. But anyways, we'll be back again tomorrow, Friday, and we'll I don't know what we're gonna watch. I have no idea. Like, I was like, not my problem, what's this film? Yeah, so join us tomorrow for lunch, and we will see you soon. Everybody take care, have a great rest of your day. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up, use the super thanks button to send us some cash. Go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. Those are great ways to support us. But just showing up every day, telling your friends. Thanks, everybody.